It can be hard to get your big idea started, to write the first lines of code for software that will change the world, to hire the team that will make your dream a reality. That's why we built a different cloud, one that's comprehensive without complexity, that gets you up and running in minutes and stays with you every step of the way. Because simpler tools lead to happier developers, and happier developers get better results. Build with us. Grow with us at DigitalOcean.
We're live. Good morning,
Hello.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Cloud Chats. How's everyone doing?
I'm on the wrong tab. I was not on the chat tab. I am now. Hello, everyone.
Yes, welcome back to Cloud Chats. This is episode 13 of season 2, being broadcast on the 26th of May 2022. And our title for the show this week, jQuery, Sunday releases, and math in Markdown. There's going to be some spicy opinions this week. Sunday releases in the title.
I forgot about that until this point.
But if you're in chat, say hi. Let us know where you're tuning in from. It's lovely to see our global audience as always. And
Ooh, Minneapolis.
Yeah. So we've got
I
Thomas
didn't realize
already.
it was that close. That's where all the puns come from. They come from the Midwest. That's where they come from.
Yeah. Whilst waiting for people to say hi in chat, shall we pull up our Hello World question this week?
Yes, let's do that. I came up with it this week.
Would
it
you
was
like
much
to read
longer.
it out?
If you can learn one new thing perfectly, what would it be? This is a thing you can learn with no effort, and you don't end up with that first horrible bump of trying to use this skill and then kind of hitting yourself in the hand with it. Reporting from a DO data center.
I'm concerned. How are you in there? What's happened?
Are you a person? Because now I have questions.
Which DC are you in? Now I'm really curious.
Does anyone remember that old cartoon Reboot? Because that's the image I have right now. It's
Which
about
one?
a bunch of... Oh, God. Oh, yeah, it's that thing again. So there used to be this cartoon called Reboot. It was about all of these little programs and functions and stuff that used to live inside a big computer. And oh no, I woke up my Alexa. And then they just lived and they did tasks, and then eventually got invaded by viruses, and they would fight off the viruses. It was a little kid's cartoon. It was very ahead of its time, both in concepts and the fact that it was fully CGI in the early 90s. So it was kind of, it was the kind of cartoon they had to build tech in order to produce, which also meant it was super expensive to do, which no one liked to spend back then on a kid's cartoon.
Yeah, I can imagine. I might have to look this up afterwards now. Sounds quite interesting, actually. Sounds like the kind of show
there is
you
a
can
Reboot on
play.
Netflix. Do not watch it. It's bad.
You're saying find the originals on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VHS quality. That is a good...
That's a great answer.
Asking the right questions is one of those skills that will serve you in every factor of your life. Segment of your life. That's what I meant. Oh, words, where did they go?
What would be your one thing to perfectly learn, Amy?
I want to learn how to kind of freestyle cook. You know, when you look at something and you go, oh, I can make something out of this. And I want to be able to do it in a way where the idea of frying stuff doesn't freak me out, because I used to work in a restaurant, and so I've got burned a couple times. So the idea of getting burned does actually genuinely freak me out. But also, I have a history with kitchen fires, so I'm not allowed to cook in my own house.
What a statement. I have a history of kitchen fires.
This is not, oh, I'm young and learning to cook. No, this is, again, full-grown adult story. I'm not allowed to do it. I have been banned.
Have you jumped on the air fryer bandwagon?
I learned how a toaster oven worked 2 years ago. No, I have not used an air fryer.
But,
I tried
it's
to, and I
there.
did something very bad. And that's why I'm not allowed to cook anything anymore. And every time they give me a chance, and it's not that I do this on purpose, but I ruin it in a sitcom level, like a bad way. So I'm not trusted to do things anymore.
So yeah, seems like learning how to freestyle cook is probably a good one. I like it.
What about you, Matt?
I don't know. I've been thinking about this. Can you tell that none of us prepare for this show in advance? I don't know. I feel like kind of it's a weird one, but learning the skill of how to learn a new musical instrument. I've never played any instrument kind of properly. I don't have a specific one that I want to learn, so I just want to learn the skill of being able to do that.
That is very, very interesting. I wish I had any sort of musical talent myself. Like,
Yeah.
put me in front of any instrument and I will just butcher it.
Yeah. Like after years of doing the technical side of theatre at school, I was always around the music kids, and I just never managed to play an instrument. Yeah. What about you?
Oh, good question. For me, I think it would be learning perfectly how to use Vim commands.
Learn
Because
how to exit Vim? Are you serious?
just getting really, really like flawlessly perfect at all things Vim would be life-changing, because I've seen people that know how to use it and they're able to move so quickly, and I'm over here, relying on my mouse and touchpad to click on things and go back. And so I've always been jealous. I've tried to pick it up a few times, and you get the basics down, but being super proficient at Vim is my life goal.
Yeah. So I don't use Vim daily, so if I go into Vim, my brain can generally figure out what command I need to do something, but it's just not immediately apparent to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe if I just forced, if we just actually all just started doing it daily, we'd just pick it up.
The fault in that plan is using Vim daily when there's basically any other way to do a thing.
You know what? I'll talk to IT and I'll get them to provision our laptops so that only Vim works.
Oh my God, why would you do that? That sounds horrible for everyone except for IT. Oh, no, that sounded like a threat.
I might. You never know.
It'll
What do we
just
got
be
in
mine.
chat? Let's see. Zam responded. They're in NYC1, obviously. So it's a good DC choice. Two
That one
Captain
also,
saying,
I'm sure, has the best amenities too. Because New York has a lot of like, food around it and stuff to do, as opposed to going to one that's, I don't know, somewhere far.
yeah, I know. That's and if you get bored of NYC1, 2 and 3 are just down the road. So
just like that's such a New York answer too. It's like you get bored, you can go to another one. It's not that far.
Two Captain says perfectly. I'll take learning quickly for 2,000, Alex. It's kind of a cheaty answer.
It's the infinite wishes Genie answered.
Yeah.
He also mentions knowing where the last pacifier is, which there's a phase where that becomes the most important thing to do. It's like, what is the thing they're asking for right now? Right now.
Oh dear. What have we got? Zam saying that learning music theory is probably a good starting point for you learning an instrument. Makes sense.
I find I'm way more interested in music theory than actually performing music.
Yeah, I can see that.
Learn how to read. Whose programming face is not in stress mode? What does that look like? What is the opposite of that like? I don't understand.
I don't know. I can see this. It's a skill. Middle of an incident, you're all on a Google Meet. All the programmers are kind of just sitting in silence, working on solving the incident. It'd be useful to read their face and understand what's happening.
What is I can tell you what's happening is like, I need to fix this right now.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Like,
Where is it? That's what's happening.
It's a good skill though. And learning consciousness.
Conciseness.
Oh, I can't read. There you go. That's why. I was like, that makes no sense.
It's the other way is a very metaphysical answer.
But no, just my inability to read. There we go. Alrighty. I like that question. That was a wonderful start to the show. And with that, shall we jump into some news?
Yeah, let's talk about what happened on Sunday. Let's talk. How was your weekend, Matt? You tell us.
Let's talk about this. Here we go. News. First bit of news this week. This is going to get really spicy straight away. GitLab 15 was released. But you may notice the release date here is May 22nd, 2022. If you would like to refer to your nearest calendar, May 22nd was a Sunday. Who releases a major release on a Sunday?
Please note that when we pull up our initial batch of articles, we do this during a meeting that's on Monday. And when I saw this release, I checked the date on my watch. I checked the date on my phone. I'm like, what day is it now? What do you mean they did this yesterday? That's impossible.
Yeah. I don't know. I will say, I don't actually know if this rolled out on Sunday. It may be that they rolled this out on the Friday or the Monday, but they published the release post on Sunday.
Well, we do know for a fact they did not roll out on Monday.
Yeah.
Because that was when we were here.
And what's wild about this, assuming that it actually went out on Sunday when the release post went out, right at the top of their blog post here, along with these exciting new features, there are a few breaking changes. A few. GitLab, I love you. But you can't release breaking changes on a Sunday.
That's the same tone I have with my kids sometimes. I love you, but you need to stop.
Yeah. But yeah, so GitLab 15 is here. Wonderful. That's some pretty cool stuff. You can
also,
now edit with
best case scenario, they released on Friday. And I literally have a shirt that I've worn to meetings and to streams and stuff that says, do you deploy on a Friday? No.
Yeah. So there are some cool things in this. If you have wikis, there's now a WYSIWYG editor for them, which is pretty neat. Makes it more accessible.
Anything that promotes documentation is good.
Yeah, there's new search stuff. Somewhere in here, there's new container scanning for everyone, no matter whether you're a free or a paying customer, which is pretty cool. But if we go back to the top, we can jump into the breaking changes.
Yes, let's go there.
Because this was interesting. This actually happened a while ago. GitLab.com rolls out these updates in advance of them being properly released so that they can test things out, But But GitLab 15 breaks some interesting things. Specifically, there's a lot of OAuth stuff that changed. They just completely removed the implicit grant flow. So if you relied on that, that's gone. And OAuth tokens now expire every 2 hours. Which obviously, credit to them. The OAuth spec does allow for tokens that expire, and you should implement refresh mechanisms. But for 14 versions, GitLab has never expired an OAuth token. And suddenly, every single one expires after 2 hours, and all the existing ones expired anyway. So,
Okay. You probably, I'm not sure if you would know the answer to this, but did they send out a communication ahead of time saying, when we push this change, your OAuth is going to die?
So I feel like I saw it implied by some people that they got an email about this. I own a GitLab app that does OAuth for Hacktoberfest, which has a lot of users authenticated with it, and continually sends API traffic even now because we do stuff all year. I got no email about this. I just started getting errors from production that OAuth tokens had expired.
That faces right now.
So yeah. But I don't know. It's a cool release, but it broke some stuff, and it was on a Sunday, supposedly.
Because the two situations are, it released on a Sunday when the post went out, which is horrible, or it released on Friday, which is less bad, but still bad, but also released the notice about it 2 days afterwards.
Yes. Again, though, obviously, GitLab.com updated a while ago, so the release would have been for those others that run their own GitLab instances, but even still,
They should be tighter together.
Sunday releases don't seem right. Whatever.
End of week releases, generally, they don't seem right.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday is release day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there we go. GitLab 15's out.
And ideally, you announce the release, a week or two ahead of time so people know what to expect, and then you release on a Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. So there we go. GitLab 15's out. Update if you want. Be aware that there's a lot of breaking changes. Anyway, moving on. Ghost 5
That's a
is
case
out.
for fixed versions right there.
Yeah. Ghost 5 is here. If you've not seen Ghost before, it's a wonderful CMS thing, TM. What have they got in here? Let's see. I haven't actually looked at this one. I love Ghost as a product, but I don't follow their releases closely. Oh, it looks like you can do a lot of monetized stuff. It's pretty cool.
Even NFTs, that's interesting.
No comment. Yeah, I like what they put here though. Even NFTs. But that last one turns out to be pretty Marmite. Yeah, pretty good description. And we love to see a speed stat.
Yeah.
Overall performance under load is up 20% or more, with resource usage down by 22%. It's pretty good.
Oh, and they updated all of their versions too.
They did.
That's nice.
Even 220, so I assume 2004. Node 16 in MySQL 8. So that's all LTS versions.
Yep.
Lovely to see. So there you go. If you're using Ghost, version 5 is out. Alrighty. Next up in releases, this is a small one from GitHub, but I thought it was pretty cool. You can now write Latex in GitHub's Markdown engine.
That is nice.
And it renders nicely.
Oh, that's cool.
That is amazing, yeah.
Yeah, so you can do it as a block.
Oh, wow.
But you can also do inline stuff as well.
That is sick. I love this.
So yeah, there you go. It's built on top of MathJax, which is kind of a pretty standard engine at this point for doing Latex in JavaScript. So it is client side. That's one thing to note. But all the same, super cool stuff.
If I was in college right now, because I was a big math nerd in college, I say was like no one's been on the seen me on the stream before. But I used to have to write these out either by hand and then either redraw it or retype it into like a doc or something. And I think if I was in college now, this would just make me the fastest latex coder ever. Because I would, looking at stuff like this is 100% my jam. And I love it.
I am curious for those in chat who has actually used latex before. Because when I was at school and at uni, it was like it's really split. There are people that use latex and people that, like, even if they knew about it, just refuse to use it.
It's not a hobbyist's type of language.
Mm-hmm.
It is,
No.
I have an extremely specific thing I need to do, and then I'll do it type of markup. So I had to use it for, because they now have automated citations on a lot of papers that are uploaded. And when I was doing this project for, I think it was the Ames Technical Library, and where they were auto-generating paper, downloading the citations for their papers so that people can search them. And so I had to build out a parser plugin for their WordPress site and retranslate the latex back into something readable and for the citations. And it was super cool. It is extremely interesting, extremely use case specific.
Yeah. I don't know. It's super powerful once you learn it, but it's not fun to learn.
You learn it because you have to.
Yeah, I like Tsunami Captain's answer here. Use Word's equation editor, which I would say is pretty solid, and then took that as an image and put it in paper.
Yeah.
One solution.
Yeah. That's basically what I did.
There you go. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool small release from GitHub. I don't know if we mentioned this before, but recently GitHub released a change. So if you're signed in and on GitHub's homepage, they've now got a little change log on the right-hand side. So you can just see everything that's happening. It's really neat. But there we go. And then finally for releases. Drum roll,
right. The thing that I've been doing and the reason why I've always sounded so busy and frenetic for the past couple of weeks.
DigitalOcean functions.
Woohoo! So, I think most people on this stream don't know this, but generally before DigitalOcean, I did a lot of serverless advocacy and stuff like that, and consultancy and build outs. So one of the core reasons for me joining DIO was because of this release, and I was super excited about it. It's very cool to have options, and DigitalOcean, just to be a little in the weeds, so to speak, right now, they have a lot of runtime times that generally aren't supported natively on other function platforms. So this was actually pretty cool. And I've been doing nothing but like building out function stuff and like demos and planning out videos and stuff like that. If you go down to the bottom of that page, you will see my face as big as humanly possible because that's the way page components work these days. And it's great. And that is my favorite Hawaiian shirt, and it matches the background perfectly.
It does. It looks like it's a good thumbnail for a video.
It looks on purpose. That's how good it is.
Yeah.
Props to our video ops teams for making that happen. Yeah, and it's great. You can learn more on the DigitalOcean Functions product page at do.co/functions. See, I told you I had this entire thing memorized because that's all I've been doing. It's a function as a service. You can deploy from the tab. You can deploy from GitHub. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Do anything.
And in terms of, I'm going to do pricing whilst we're here as well. Pricing page, functions. It's
No.
free. TM star. You
It
get
is free the way cloud products are free.
you get 90,000 gigabyte seconds of compute for free per month, and then beyond that, it's that really small number per gigabyte second.
So it's one of the few products that are actually measured on usage as opposed to flat, but they do tier it so that you don't have to worry about a sudden spike driving all of your pricing out of control. So, and that is one of the best parts of serverless is that it is a measurement against your usage, not against any other like subsidiary fees and stuff.
Yeah, because your code isn't running until it runs.
Yes. I don't want to eat up
a
too much time
terrible
about this
explanation.
because we have so much talking about this over the next several weeks.
Yep.
So much.
Alrighty. There we go. Functions.
Yeah.
There's
Very
a product
exciting.
page. There's a pricing page. There's also a try landing page if you want to get started and poke around, which is /try/functions, and then pricing/functions and products/ Who'd have thought we called it all the same thing?
It's not even the worst one. Trust me. There are worse. There are worse out
Alrighty.
there. They're way more confusing.
And that is all of our releases this week. Now we can go to main thread stuff. And if you can see my tabs at the top, we got a ways to go. Alrighty. This one I thought I'd just throw in here.
I hate this.
It's not really a news item, but it's pretty cool. This website is thisimagedoesnotexist.com. And the whole purpose is you're presented an image and you have to decide if an actual artist painted it or if DALL-E painted it. We've talked about DALL-E on the show before. It's OpenAI's art generator. So do you want to go at this quickly?
This hits the same kind of band as Is It Cake? And I don't like it. It definitely intrudes on my already very tight bounds of what reality is.
I would say this first one actually looks like a drawing. It's not as AI as I would
Okay.
assume DALL-E to be.
I'm going to go with Ado here. He was first to guess. We'll say this is an artist. It was made by a robot. What about this? I think artist is a bit generous here. Human.
I would say human as well.
Yeah.
Robot.
We'll go human again. We'll see. Amy might be right here. 2 in a row. No.
Dang.
Robot.
100% robot.
Robot. Human.
Ooh.
We could do this all day.
This is the rest of the stream.
Robot. This was a robot generated image.
100% robot.
Human. Because that is ridiculous.
That's a robot. There we go.
Dang.
Doesn't know how to write words. Only knows art. Oh dear.
It seemed like something someone would do as a joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like DALL-E and Google's, I forget what their image processing AI is called, but I know at least for the versions that they released to the public or even in beta, like they don't allow you to draw actual human faces or words just due to privacy and due to like a whole bunch of reasons of not wanting to,
Sure.
fake.
Yeah.
But so that's why faces with DALL-E always look a little weird and out of place because they like purposefully limit it to not draw faces well.
But yeah, this is a really fun site if you want to be a bit scared by how AI is doing, because it's.
I'm always a bit scared of AI. It is genuinely one of those things I have a real phobia of.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm in the right industry, because that's just my day.
I'm going to drop this one in chat for people to have a look at if they want. Because it's, I don't know, it's a fun little site to poke around at. But there we go. Next up in the news, PlanetScale announces the future database.
It feels like the laws of robotics for databases.
That's a really good way to put it, Amy. I think I had to read through this post from PlanetScale the other day, and it just makes sense. And I'm hoping PlanetScale can deliver on it, and if not, one of the other database vendors. But it's a lot of just not even common sense, but just a lot of things that are needed for a really good database in today's day and age.
Mm-hmm.
I think it really falls into that category of, there's a lot of us that as a group we can generally agree is a good idea, but unless someone writes it down in a way that is referenceable as a standard, that's how you get either these edge cases or loopholes where someone goes, well, I followed most of it and then I went to do my own thing and I did some really borderline ethical stuff with the data, with the either how the data is like stored and constructed or whatever, even though we all agreed on the other stuff. It's the difference between a verbal and a written contract to me, where people just put more weight in something that's written down, which I think is going to only make things better going forward.
So what do we got here? We got the first point, easy to operate, makes sense. If anyone's managed a big database, you'll know.
Has anyone tried to learn Cassandra?
Yeah, it can become quite painful.
That was that made me not want to do that again. That was hard.
Fundamentally reliable. Again, makes sense. An unreliable database isn't a very useful database.
An unreliable database is RAM.
And this is an interesting one. Serverless by default.
So that one I'm kind of on the fence on. Like, on one hand, it makes sense, but on another, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like I like the idea of this, and I agree with it in principle. I just think it's going to be very hard to achieve.
I think serverless by default is that same mentality of mobile first design for application UI, where if you think about it, is like, we know we're going to have to hit these things on release, then you are less likely to build something that is incapable of doing it.
Yes.
Even if that's not the first thing you build.
We have now seen, Cloudflare's now got essentially SQLite running serverless.
Right.
So I think
and now it's technically possible. It's not like before where you had rooms with computers in it and that's what your database was.
And I will say, like, on the serverless by default, the pricing model for databases based on consumption is really attractive, just because typically databases are going to be your most, one of the most expensive parts of your tech stack. And even getting a simple database, you're looking at paying $20, $30 a month for. So I welcome the serverless pricing model, but implementing an actual serverless database is a lot harder than you think.
I know exactly how hard it is. It is quite difficult.
We've got point 4, that a database should be interoperable. Makes total sense. You want a data store that can talk to anything. Very logical. Well, distributed globally. Again, makes sense. You don't want your data in one place.
It also makes it so that you have to think about localization issues as far as data access and integrity laws. So that, like, if you are in an area where GDPR was required, then you have to kind of ensure that that is considered when doing your data spec.
Yeah. And this is also an interesting one. Learning, optimizing, intelligent. This should be, obviously a lot of databases, like I don't know, Postgres, for example, heavily optimizes things for you. But the way this is worded to me implies kind of almost a level of like machine learning to it, if it's intelligent.
Yeah, I think like when I was at Mongo, we like their hosted Atlas solution, it had built-in kind of machine learning where if it picked up that, for example, you were running a query a lot that didn't have an index on it, it would send you an alert saying, hey, you're running this query. It could be this much faster if you added an index. And it had this set of like 7 or 8 different things to look for where, it knew that we could make small optimizations on your end that would take a couple of clicks that would give you a much, much better performance. So I love the idea of a database working with you and giving you helpful hints on how to get the most out of it, because I feel like a lot of developers aren't DBAs, don't know all the technical in-depth details on how to perfectly optimize a database. So the more hand-holding we can give them, I think the better.
Yeah, definitely. And then finally, horizontally scalable linearly. Again, makes total sense.
Yeah.
Databases are getting bigger and bigger. We like data. So there you go. Those are PlanetScale's principles for future databases, which is super cool to see. And if you want to have a read at any time or reference this, it's principles.planetscale.com. Alrighty. Now we can jump to some more news, this time in the form of an acquisition. Slightly kind of on the edge of the cloud space, but Broadcom this morning confirmed that they are acquiring VMware. I don't know. Cloud computing company VMware feels like an odd description to me. I'm not sure why.
Technically, yes. I mean, that you're running someone else's software, right? Somewhere else, which is what that is. And they were the first people to do it. And they just don't have anything that can be generously called lightweight, which is what most people expect of cloud services.
Yes, so Broadcom has confirmed they're acquiring VMware for $61 billion. Interesting, as part of this, Broadcom's software group is going to be rebranded as VMware, which is interesting. Obviously, this acquisition comes only a year after VMware spun off from Dell, which is always just interesting to keep in mind, Like from being part of Dell to suddenly part of Broadcom, pretty interesting. Yeah, there you go. Not much more to say on that one. It's happening. Next up, this is an interesting one. I like this one. Maybe because it's a bit close to home. The gov.uk site team have confirmed that they have completely dropped jQuery from their front end. We've talked about the UK government on this show before because they have a pretty cool front end framework that's super accessible. So it was nice to see this. Actually, this is on web.dev, which is Google's thing. I don't know how to describe it. How do you describe web.dev?
It teaches you to build the thing.
Google's home for web development. We'll call it that.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like,
So it was
like
interesting.
Google's. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say just similar to Firefox's MDN. I feel like web dev is kind of Google's take on it.
Yeah.
That's it. This is quite cool. It was posted on web.dev rather than the gov.uk site. But yeah, they've removed jQuery.
I wonder, because I didn't read this article, are they going to, since they posted it on Google's web dev, get rid of jQuery and use Material UI, or just go to pure good old JavaScript?
They went to vanilla, as far as I can
They
tell
went
from reading
vanilla.
this. They went for complete vanilla. They went,
Nice.
everything that people use jQuery for, like just jQuery's generic selector, exists in vanilla JavaScript. So yeah, it's gone. But it's interesting though, because jQuery is definitely not gone from the internet still. It's ridiculous how widely used it is.
jQuery is a great framework for backend engineers who need to do front-end engineering because they are told to.
Yes.
Because that is what I used it for, because it came bundled with Bootstrap. So they're like, make a thing with a bunch of boxes on it. And I'm like, can do.
Yeah. So I think if you were building out a website now,
I'm being corrected. It is a library.
there's a good chance you wouldn't use jQuery, because I don't think many things bundle it anymore. I don't think Bootstrap does anymore. But
Only Bootstrap.
the internet being what the internet is, there's a lot of old sites still running it that will probably never get rid of it. But it's cool to see it's being removed, because it's a pretty heavy dependency that you generally don't need anymore.
Yeah, I think jQuery, had its uses back in the day, and it was, instrumental if you were writing JavaScript. But JavaScript has, caught up where you don't need jQuery anymore to have a really good development experience on the front end. So, I think when I first started programming, jQuery was a lifesaver, but we've outgrown it, and we thank jQuery for being there for us when we were getting started. And
I appreciate you.
Definitely.
But yeah, there you go. If you're using jQuery, just think about if you need it still, because you probably don't. And with that, on to our final news item, which has been written in the doc as open source moment, which I like. June is GitHub's maintainer month. Pretty cool. Maintainers don't get an awful lot of recognition in open source, but they're what make open source work. So GitHub has set up an entire month to celebrate them. They've got a honestly pretty beautiful site that talks through what Maintainer Month is, what they're doing. There's a lot of events happening. They've got a schedule. There's a whole schedule section here that talks you through what's happening. There's lots of events, lots of streams happening. I believe that we're participating in Maintainer Month somehow. I don't quite know the details of that yet.
We will be providing a speaker and an event. So we're going to have something going on here. It's not me, so I don't know what it is.
No, I have no idea either, but we should be involved in this. So keep an eye out. But head to maintainermonth.github.com to check it out. It's pretty cool stuff. And relatedly, we've been given a list of some open source projects that Dio has been supporting that we wanted to just quickly run through to give him a little, a shout out, I guess. First of all, we've already talked about Ghost today, but Dio supports Ghost. So if you want to try it out, they're on GitHub. Try Ghost is the org, or ghost.org is their website. We've got PHP. Everyone knows PHP.
I certainly never talk about it all the time.
If you haven't heard of PHP, you haven't done web dev.
If you haven't heard of PHP, you haven't been on the stream in the past few weeks where I don't stop talking.
Yeah, I feel like everyone in web dev at some point has written some PHP.
Oh yeah.
Because you had to. It was a very hot language when Facebook was taking off and everyone was building integrations for it, because 90-something% of Facebook is written off of PHP, and then they spun off their own type of flavor of PHP, which they don't share with anybody else.
They do. It's hack. It's public.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah. So they did two things. They first wrote HHVM, Hip Hop VM, which was a new runtime for PHP. And then they forked PHP itself as well, I think, as Hack, which I think is also public. I can't remember. But anyway, Dio also supports PHP. Pretty cool.
And
That's
like
not.
the one thing I wanted to add there on PHP as well is, I think I read statistics a couple of weeks ago that like 31 or 32% of the web is still powered by WordPress, which is built on PHP. So the odds of you coming across and having to use PHP is still very high.
Tangent. We're doing a tangent. My favorite website, W3Tax. Here we go. Server-side languages. PHP. 77.4% of the internet runs on PHP.
One of
There
my
you go.
favorite thing is when I started about a year after I started doing PHP development a long time ago. They started saying that PHP is dead. No one's going to use it. And I'm like, you said the same thing about Java. It's
I
like,
say, here is a 1-year graph. There is definitely a decline happening.
I mean, sure.
It's not much, but it's happening. And whilst we're here, JavaScript libraries, jQuery, 77% of the internet still uses jQuery.
That's
What
a
is that
lot of
second?
libraries, man. Why?
And that graph is not really going downwards.
Looks like it had a slight downtrend and then it went
Definitely
up a little bit.
climbed up to here. Then
I assure you, the sites
down.
not built on WordPress or Laravel for PHP are built on Bootstrap, which also has jQuery on it.
Yeah. So there you go. I don't know. W3Text is a wonderful site for look at this kind of stuff. But anyway, tangent aside, what else have we got? Dio also helps support open trade statistics. So they got a load of stuff here. They do a lot of stuff around statistics collection and statistics presentation. Pretty cool stuff. So Dio supports them. And then we also support SQLite browser. Good chance you've used this one.
Hi, Mason.
Hi, Mason. Don't talk about Bootstrap.
It's stuck now. Why would you do that to me? You know what I've been going through.
Oh dear. Yes, but Dio also supports SQLite browser. If you've worked with SQLite, good chance you've used this because it's kind of the tool for working with their database. So we support that. And then finally, we also support linuxserver.io, which does a lot of interesting stuff. There's a lot of Docker files here. I love some Docker files. What do they? Haven't really looked into what they do. I think they do a lot of stuff around running Linux-based stuff, right? Yes, they do Docker images. There you go. So we also support them, which is pretty cool. What's the link? Does anyone know the link for if you want to check out getting open source support from us?
I don't. I don't see it here.
DigitalOcean.com/open source, open-source.
That's probably it. Open-source. It is indeed. There you go. There's some more companies here. Actually, there's a link.
That was just
though,
a wild
but...
guess.
We've got some companies here. There's not currently a link. I do think this page is being worked on. But I think you can also email us opensource@digitalocean.com if you're so interested. But there you go. Open source moment completed. And with that, news is done. We've done the news, ladies and gentlemen. That was a lot.
It was.
Mason has derailed
It's been
chat.
a long week. I'm being attacked specifically in chat, so I'm just why? You don't understand how many times a day I hear this song.
It's a good song though.
It's a good song if the album is not what your kids wake up to and use to get ready to go to school, and the length of time between that song starting, getting out the door, is one full run of the vocal tracks, and another full run of the vocal tracks is getting from our house to their school. So I hear it twice on the way to school and once on the way back.
I like that you have it timed and you know this.
Of course I know this. It's happened every day since the movie came out. To navigate for me. Thank you. Thank you for sympathy.
Gianni Captain says, well, I used to ping Mason. Is it Matt's Twitter DMs now? Sure, my Twitter DMs are always open. Not saying you'll get a good response, but they're open.
My Twitter DMs gets answered as often as my email do.
Well, what annoys me? Well, no, see, email, I get a notification when I get a new email. If you're a new person in my Twitter DMs, Twitter doesn't notify you that that's happened.
Really? They only oh, wow, that's awful.
Yeah, if you get DM requests, they don't get a notification with them. It's really annoying. There you go. Shall we jump into our wonderful quiz to get this show back on track?
Before this turns into us and another 50 minutes of us complaining about Twitter again.
Yeah. We know how that goes.
Ah.
What have we got this week?
Ahead of time. This time. Hooray. And it works.
Look at that. Alrighty. Everyone in chat, head to
Jordan with pin 788-6935.
There you go.
And in the meantime, word of the week.
Word of the week
is, oh, cool. Yay. Autonomous architecture. So it is, short version, it's a printer that can print buildings. So this technology developed at MIT. Robots print entire buildings and promise to change the construction industry's reliance on human labor. It's like an inkjet printer. It can build walls and layers in just a few hours, which is especially great if you're going to a place where shipping large prefab materials is difficult. So if you're building like quick shelters or anything, it does it both in a safer way that uses less human labor. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Watching the time-lapse videos of them printing a building is surreal.
It's going to be really exciting. So it'll change the housing industry in a way I don't think people quite understand yet.
Oh, yeah. It'll be great.
So it's a good bit of disruptive technology. Alrighty. Shall we start the quiz?
Yay. I wanted to go easy on everyone this week. It is not long, and it's about robots and Star Wars. We can all do this. Once Anakin becomes Darth Vader, he is part man and part machine. In the real world, this is an organism, an android, a robot, or a cyborg. I was nice to everyone this week. I want to be appreciated.
Alrighty. A cyborg.
I think an android is a bipedal human-shaped robot.
Yes. When I think android, I think Detroit Become Human, which is a wonderful game. And yes, they're all very humanoid robots.
Yeah. I thought about Data, but also I played through that game a couple times.
Fair enough. Oh, do I need to say the thing? I need to say the thing.
You need to say the thing. Say the thing.
How did you get 1,000? Yes, okay, the thing. Kahoot is not just about getting it right, it's about getting it right fast. The faster you get it right, the more points you get. I mathed it, clearly got it very fast, and they got 1,000 points. There you go. There's the thing.
Mason says, an android is fully synthetic and Cyborg has organic matter, which is correct. And also, I forgot about the most obvious part about being a cyborg. Mason, what are you going to do if you win anyway? Princess Leia sent a hologram message to Obi-Wan Kenobi. This hologram technology also exists on Earth. True or false? We did this when? Like a few weeks ago.
We've talked about holograms on this show before.
Yeah. Recently.
Yeah.
Which again totally answers the question before.
I love that Airbox in chat has got the quote down already of what the Kahoot word is.
It's one of those a really weird kind of epitaphs. Where you go? See someone's last words on their tombstone. It's not about getting it right, it's about speed.
Oh, please don't put that on my gravestone.
If I was in control of your gravestone, you have bigger problems.
Very true. Oh dear. That was indeed true. Holograms do exist.
Yes. And we see it. And now you can shoot them to space.
In a surprise to absolutely no one, Toon Army Captain is once again at the top.
I think Mason's coming in with a mission this week.
Yeah, Mason, you better win this week.
Do it. Do it. I want to see what happens.
Chaos.
If Toon Army Captain and Mason get the top 2, number 3 gets a prize.
There we go.
Just
Alrighty.
putting it out there. But I want to see the moral victory.
I want to see the fight.
Yeah, I do too. This field of engineering would help humans develop technology similar to that of BB-8, robotics, zoology, paleontology, and astronomy. And it would be arguable that any of these could actually contribute to like the development of robots.
Yeah. I would like to think it's like solely paleontology.
Paleontology, you get like a Horizon Dawn situation, right?
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm losing words, man. He
Knew
can mail himself merch. He can.
Honestly, Tommy Captain, you can mail yourself merch at this point as well.
I know, right? Zoology and biomechanics is used in developing robots because it teaches us not only how the autonomy of any kind of creature actually moves around it also teaches us about energy control, energy generation, and distribution.
Yeah. But BB-8 is a robot.
BB-8 is a robot, and I mean, there are animals that just kind of roll around as a ball.
7
right?
points between them.
I love this. I'm
This is gonna
so
be a close
excited. Oh, and Bleep's catching up too.
Yeah.
Goodness, it's gonna be a
It's
fight.
a
Let's
spicy
go.
week.
The speeder bikes on Endor use repulsor technology levitation to overcome what real-world force? Weak force, gravity, electromagnetism, or strong force? Man, I didn't realize there'd be a real question in here, and I don't like it.
Oh, I love this quiz. This is a good quiz.
It's a fun one, yeah. I do have to drop though. I have a call, so I will leave it to you guys to wrap it up. Good luck. And,
Thank you very much for joining us as always.
See you later, Mace. See you later, Otto. Oh my goodness. I'm okay.
Amy's losing it.
I
Bye.
am. It's
See you
been
later.
a week.
Oh dear. There we go. Gravity. Gravity is the answer. They levitate. They need to overcome gravity. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh,
Like
Mason taking a
Mason
strong
overtook
lead.
Toon Army Captain. Amazing. You need to appreciate the gravity of this question. Thank you. That was a solid pun. I've seen the ones in chat, but after last week, I'm making you guys bring your A game. Come on.
Yeah, chat puns is where it's at with this show.
NASA space shuttles are equipped with hyperdrives, allowing them to travel through hyperspace. I will tell you right now, there's nothing in the government that moves that fast.
Oh, this is an amazing question. Space shuttles aren't equipped with anything. They were equipped with stuff, though. It's an amazing question.
They
everyone.
were, and then they took them out because of budget cuts. That is a very normal question.
Oh, Tino actually says, I'm sensing some hostility. Mm-hmm. Yes. Got a competition this week. This is indeed false. There are not hyperdrives in the space shuttles.
The hostility comes from, it's not just me. A lot of people I used to work with also used to work with like the DoD and stuff. And it's just like, and we're never given new things to use.
No.
No, you don't get that in the
You got old
government. And it
tech.
doesn't matter what you're supporting. You don't.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of people close to the top today.
It's a tight band this week, which I like, which is great. Because we're doing it something we all know, which is Star Wars and robots. The WA7 waitress droid uses a simple machine to travel between customers in Dex's Diner. What is Dex's Diner? I don't actually watch Star Wars. We're out of the references I understand.
I have no idea either. I also don't watch Star Wars.
Oh, thank goodness. Whew. If it's not in a place in the Disneyland thing,
yeah,
or it was not in like the first 2 seasons of Rebels, because I did not see the last season of Rebels, or Rogue One, I don't know. I don't, because those are the only parts I like. And I'm sorry, I am a Star Trek person.
There we go. The answer was this was a wheel and axle simple machine.
Yay!
What? Mason, you can't heckle from YouTube chat. It doesn't work.
The diner is not level, so technically.
We'll go back to last week. Moving on, quickly, move on.
I'm going.
Don't
stop making me click the button if you want this to move quickly. Which of the following pod racer technologies has not yet been invented here on Earth? Anti-gravity technology, dual engine technology, sturdy construction, and central cockpits.
Well, we all know it's sturdy construction. Everything on Earth just falls apart.
I mean, that's true. That is true. I also kind of want to argue all of this. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
If you can get it as a thing for your desk, it's not great, but it technically exists. It exists as well as anything on Earth exists.
Yeah. Whatever. Anti-gravity, we'll pretend it doesn't exist. Oh, there's a lot of movement on the leaderboard then.
Star Wars droids and Earth robots were both created to assist humans and reduce workloads. True or false?
Oh, I got this one.
I mean, you have high school kids building them to like beat each other up. That's not why they're created. It's just something they can do.
Alrighty. How's the leaderboard doing? Let's see.
Okay. Oh! Mason, Tunani, Captain, and Bleeb.
But Bleeb's climbing up.
Yo, this is great.
This is honestly
this is
a
the
brilliant
most exciting
spectator sport.
leaderboard, I think, for this quiz ever. Star Wars droids were created for entertainment. That is true. Earth lasers and Death Star super laser emit light amplified by a simulated emission of electromagnetic radiation, anti-gravity, dark matter, or gravity.
LASAG. LASTM. LASG.
Oh, dang it. None
of them work.
I'm like, why are you making these sounds? I'm fine.
Don't worry.
I was on a call yesterday and I said I'm fine, and my son said, "Are you sure?"
Yes, but those lights are light emitted. Nope.
No.
Nope. Light.
Tunari, Captain, and Mason, and Bleeb. This is hard. Okay, when Anakin loses his arm, it is replaced with a robotic arm. Artificial limbs are also called secondary limbs, externals, prostheses, and android limbs.
Oh, I think you could use all of these. So
I
all
want to start
very
referring
valid answers.
to random parts as externals. I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, just do it.
Oh, okay. Another good one. Handy technology. There you go. See, if you bring in good puns, you get a call out.
Drama alert. Toonami Captain says I may have misclicked.
Well, you take it up with Mason.
Could have just thrown the game here if you've misclicked.
It's he's still ahead by 30
False alarm.
points. Oh my god. Yay, false alarm.
All right, Bleeb, you've got a bit of catching up to do.
3 left. Scientists on Earth can wire a control by thought prosthesis hand similar to Luke's hand. False or true? That's not how true-false questions work.
It is now.
Given that on the quizzes that we get from other creators, I can't change the order of the questions. They did that on purpose.
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Oh no.
Ooh.
And Method is taking out Bleeb. And it's still 30 points between Toonami Captain and Mason. This is a tight game. Droids like C-3PO have a bipedal form and human-like personality. On Earth, this is known as robotic, humanoid, and droidian, or artificial. I don't know a single human who acts like him.
Yes, this is a humanoid robot, and it acts like a human.
It's a humanish robot.
Oh!
Oh, Mason did it!
What happened here?
Something happened.
Mason's in first. The night.
Mason, I can't catch up.
Is in second.
Number one can't catch up. Okay.
Toonami Captain has plummeted to third. This has never happened before. You got one question to go.
Okay, this is it. This will shake the leaderboard. Devices similar to the comlinks used by Luke in Star Wars New Hope exist today on Earth. False or true? Because why? I hate it when they do it this way.
I love it.
They're doing it on purpose.
Welcome to the false or true quiz.
God. Can you imagine you're doing this and taking a true false in school, and then the teacher just randomly changed between false and true for fun?
That would so trip you up.
Oh, God.
Alrighty, here we go.
Let's see what happens. I want to see all 5
Third.
go.
Toonami has
What?
Third.
No. The
Night
Angel came out of nowhere.
And Mason in first? Yes, there we go. Good job, Mason.
I don't. This was not one. And Bleep all the way down to 5, and I mathed it as number 4. Dang,
Already.
this was a thing.
So, Mason, if you want some swag, you can reach out to us. And I don't actually know who the Night Angel is, but the Night Angel, feel free to reach out to us. We'll send you some stickers or some other swag. Take a screenshot of your winning screen on Kahoot so we know you won. And then send us an email. I am mcowley@digitalocean.com. I will type that out in chat. Send us an email with some shipping information, and we'll send you some stuff.
I obviously don't want the swag.
That kind of sounds sarcastic, like he actually does.
That feels like a challenge. Like, at this point, just inundating someone with swag feels like...
Alrighty. Quiz complete.
Hooray! And now it's just us.
It's just us. Welcome to Cloud Chats Therapy. Or the What's on Your Mind section.
Well,
What's
this week has been a
mind?
lot, so I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I can. Because it's one of those things where I have opinions, but I am smart enough to keep my opinions off of a recorded medium. So instead, I'm going to talk about. Okay, so I have not been part of an actual product launch for like a genuine full-on product, not like we released software, we did an update, or we delivered a thing. That's what I've been doing recently. So, and genuinely, a truly genuine product launch, I have not been a part of since way earlier in my career. I think the last time I launched anything was 2000. Oh, it wasn't that long ago. It was 2017. Oh wow, that was 5 years ago. Never mind.
That's
Anyway,
a long time ago.
yay! I can tell time. But yeah, so it's been an interesting experience, and I forgot how much I enjoyed that kind of energy and knowing, being able to directly contribute to something as opposed to building a thing people will use or shed or take parts of as they needed to. So it's been super exciting. So that part of it I genuinely enjoyed. So yeah, I liked it.
Oh, sweet. Looking forward to the next launch. Are you ready? You ready to dive back in? Or do you need a break?
Let's finish one before we talk about another one, even though I've done that too. The fun thing about working in sports is that the seasons generally start and end at the same time.
Yeah.
So I've been in that cycle before. I'm not saying I can't do it. And moving on.
Yeah, no, I think actually the next big thing for developer advocates is probably Hacktoberfest.
After, you mean after July? Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
Assuming
you
we
go.
don't do something wild in the meantime, which is possible.
Possible. Who knows?
Who knows? That's not me. That's not me being sassy. That's one.
No.
That's a genuine. I don't know what July looks like yet. I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. I look at my calendar like 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's on my mind
That's
this
just so
week?
I don't come to work on a Monday where it's closed.
Yeah, I don't know. The news. Don't want to talk about that. I don't know. I did a lot of open source stuff this week, and it was exciting. It was very refreshing to be working on something that's in the public eyes for like a public good cause. It was enjoyable. Yeah. I don't know. It feels like there's a bit of me. It's like I love working on whatever code I'm working on, but there's a bit of me. It's a bit sad when it's just buried away in an internal repo somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was nice to work on some open source stuff. My math, it says my first Hacktoberfest will be this year. Sweet.
Welcome.
Yeah. There's not really any info out this year yet, but you can join the Discord
because it's May.
we have started planning, but it is only May, so there's not much info out. Things generally start to appear around the start of September, but you can join the Discord now, which is discord.gg/Hacktoberfest. There's people there all year round who are happy to help out with open source no matter the time of the year. And you'll also be the first to know when things happen.
And they like to talk in that chat.
They do. It's amazing how active it is, given that Hacktoberfest happens for 1 month of the year.
Month a year.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. That's what's on my mind. Just open source stuff. It's enjoyable. It was a welcome distraction this week as well.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We've somewhat come to the end of the show. How do we do that? It's only been an hour and 15. We're early.
Early-ish.
Yeah. Already, upcoming events. What's happening in the next couple of weeks?
Kim is back next week.
Kim's back?
Yeah.
So Kim might be live streaming on Twitch.
Might be.
Might be. If she is, it's normally Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. No guarantees, but keep it on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, press the follow button, and Twitch will send you notifications when people are live. I don't know, if you're on YouTube, there's also a subscribe button, which will do the same thing if you then press the bell thing. If you're on other social platforms, I have no idea.
LinkedIn sends you notifications when it feels like it, I found.
Yeah. I have no idea what Facebook does. So, I don't know. YouTube and Twitch are the go-to places for getting live stream notifications for us. And speaking of live streams, Amy, you've got one.
Yes, we have a special event on the 7th that you can sign up for through the product page, where we're not just going to go over the new functions product. We're going to talk to the engineers. There's going to be a fireside chat. There's going to be another one of these things that I wrote, so it's not going to be about Star Wars or robots. But we will have swag, and there will probably be a bigger audience for that quiz, so you may have to fight a little bit harder to get these stickers.
That's why Cloud Chats is what it is, you know. It's just a sticker fun.
It's the warm up, right? So that'll be great.
But yeah, there you go. Have we got any tech talks coming up? I can't think of any.
Not next week. If you are genuinely interested in hearing me talk about how the functions product works, I'm going to be talking about it for an hour, I believe, on the 15th. But that is not up yet, so just keep an eye out. It's coming. It's coming because I will definitely do it, and I'm not doing this just because I work here. It is genuinely the thing that is the current technology I'm the most passionate about.
There we go. And then, obviously, Cloud Chats, as always. I won't be here next week because in the UK, we're celebrating the Queen being on the throne for a long time. So
I heard
it's
about
a holiday. So
I have heard some things about that.
But I think some other people will probably be here next week. It's also Memorial Day on Monday, so our regular planning meeting for the show's not on Monday. So
it has not been moved yet, so it's going to be fine. Everything will be
here
fine.
On Thursday. We might not be.
I will be here. I know how to set up the thing, I think. We'll see how it goes.
Present the entire show on her own, do her own news, everything.
Yeah, I mean, I see there's a big button that says start and end broadcast, and that is, if there are other things that I have to do, then we're in trouble.
No, I don't think so. You just press like.
Okay, good. Then we're probably fine.
Thing, start broadcast live, and you're live. It's super simple.
Rope someone who knows how StreamYard works to help me.
So yeah, there you go. We should be here, same bad time, same bad place next week, as always. I think with that, the only thing left is the joke of the day.
Yes, and we do have one. How many programmers does it take to change a light bulb? None, because that's a hardware problem. That's my solution. If you think that's not even a joke, that is just stuff I say to the people in my house when they want me to fix something.
I know. I was so expecting kind of like just an answer that's like a lot of them. It caught me so off guard that it was just no, none of them.
I also read one before that was like how many front-end developers does it take to change a light bulb? One to put up the first light bulb, another one to say that you need to start over.
It's also very
like
true.
That is great. Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh dear. There you go. I'm at it taking notes. Well, with that, I think we have come to the end of the show. Thank you all for joining us as always. And we'll probably be here next week.
Someone will be here next week.
Someone will be here.
Someone for sure will be here.
If we're not, we'll be here the week after as usual anyway. So, no stress. Alrighty. Goodbye, everyone. See you next week.